Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Building Science Digest. I'm your host, Christian Kennedy, and today our guest is Ahoo Malekafzali. Ahoo, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me today.
We are so excited to have you here. Today we are going to talk about light in the built environment, and you have a lot of experience being a part of that industry. 9 years with Saint-Gobain North America, 6, if I'm correct, with the Sage Glass team and
Yes,
controlling kind of the light.
I joined Sage Glass in 2016 and later moved to building science team.
That's incredible. We are so happy to
Thank you.
have you. And you're a building science manager, and you know this. You live and breathe kind of everything we're discussing here today, but specifically surrounding light in the built environment. And I think right out the gate, I want to just talk to you at a high level and ask you a question about kind of like what is the impact to us as occupants, human beings, positive or negative, that light does have.
Yeah, sure. This is a great topic. Light is made up of electromagnetic wave in visible spectrum and allow us to live and experience the world around us. But the impact of light in our daily life is far beyond the visual aspect.
Okay.
Our eyes have a non-visual photoreceptor
Okay.
that are linked to our brain's circadian clock, and the circadian clock regulate different physiological activity in human body, from
Interesting.
hormone level to sleep structure and timing, to cardiovascular activity and even body temperature.
Wow.
And that's why we know that light has impact on human health and well-being far beyond the visual side and the
Wow.
fact that we can see the world around us. To name some of these impact, with access to natural daylight, you can see impact on stress reduction,
Oh, interesting.
on
Okay.
mood change. You can see impact on basically regulating circadian rhythm in body that
Sure.
directly impact sleep quality,
Wow.
and even on the area like cognitive function, focus,
That's
and
right.
productivity.
Wow. It sounds so it has a tremendous impact on what we do. And you mentioned wealth and well-being. What, if anything, has been done study-wise to back up some of those cases or some of the ideas that we think light has an effect on?
Yeah, this has been an area of interest for researcher and scientists for a
Yeah.
long time, and there have been like numerous studies on the topic, but I can like mention one of them from World Green Building Council that
Sure. Yeah.
they confirmed all of these benefit across different building type,
Hmm.
from improving productivity and job satisfaction in offices
Wow.
to improving test score in school, faster recovery time in hospital,
Yeah.
faster service in call center, and even
Wow.
higher sales in retail environment. That's just
Wow.
fascinating.
So the lighter it is, or the light impacts how much is being sold. That's incredible. And those are all structures that are buildings that we really are walking in or surrounded by in our daily lives. And light has a profound impact on positive impact on us in those structures. I have to imagine that there may be some negatives
Yeah,
to light impact.
yeah, that's a great question. There are also some negative impact with light because
Sure.
our body need the light at the right amount at the right time. So if you are receiving, or if you're like overexposed to light with excessive daylight, you can experience glare and visual discomfort, even like thermal
Interesting.
discomfort,
That's right.
which has like a negative impact on our experience in the space. Another example for negative impact of light is when we are overexposed to blue light during nighttime.
Sure.
That can disrupt your circadian rhythm and sleep, causing fatigue for occupant in the following days. And another example is when we are underexposed to light,
Hmm.
which can negatively impact our mood and alertness.
So you can be overexposed, you can be underexposed, but there is a science in finding that right balance for occupants and human beings once they're inside buildings.
Yeah.
With that in mind, how can we be better from a building design standpoint to ensure that those occupants, us here in the office buildings, are getting the right amount of light?
Yeah. So, for centuries, people primarily lived outdoor, and they kind of rely on sunlight exposure
Sure, yeah.
for their health and well-being. And even in early building design, window was always a key element in as part of the building, which changes which started from small opening in the walls to sophisticated window system we have today. And this is a very important topic in building design, because we know that today's humans spend more than 90% of their time
Yeah, that's an
inside.
incredible fact. I couldn't wrap my head around that 90% of the time that we as human beings are spending time inside. And that's why, to your point, windows and having openings and incorporating or bringing the outside in, that outside light in, is so important.
Yeah, and windows are our way of stay connecting with outdoor, and with that connection, it's not just daylighting. Natural daylight. It's very important, but human also need to stay connected to outdoor views. We use windows to get fresh air and ventilation, and it also have impact on occupant thermal comfort.
Yeah.
So architect need to be always very
Aware.
aware
Aware of
of
it,
how,
yeah.
how they design windows in building.
With that in mind, from a building design, even an architectural design standpoint, there is such a thing as having too much light. So what can architects, designers, builders, what can those responsible for the creation of these structures and the buildings do to find the right balance?
Yeah, of course, the most important part is to finding the balance.
Yeah.
And as we discussed earlier, with light comes positive and negative impact.
That's right. That's
So
right.
how we optimize our building to receive just the right amount of light, solar gain in the building is very important. And there are different strategies in building design.
I'm sure.
At fundamental level, basically we want to make sure how we orient our building, how we place our window, and what are the size of the window. In next level, architect use different shading strategies,
Okay.
like using exterior overhang, louver, blind to modulate how much light
Sure.
and heat we receive inside the window. Another factor that is important to consider when we design the building is what is the interior surface reflectance, and
That's
how
right.
much you distribute the light inside the building. On the next level, how we select glazing system
Yep.
can plays a big role on balancing daylight level inside the space.
Absolutely.
And controlling for solar gain.
I'm aware of some of the solutions we offer here at Saint-Gobain. From a glazing standpoint, what are the solutions that we do offer here?
Yeah, we actually have a comprehensive portfolio when it comes to high performance glazing system, and these glazing are designed to optimize daylight admission,
Absolutely.
thermal comfort, and even building energy performance. We have some low-E product, like our Cool Light product. We have Solar Guard, which are window film, and those can be used for renovation project when you want to improve the performance, but you don't want to replace the window, and you can just use the film. And with the film, we can significantly reduce solar heat gain coefficient and
Wow.
visible light transmittance of the existing window. We also have dynamic glazing, which can respond to environment and tint automatically, change visible light transmittance and solar heat gain coefficient, and basically provide the optimized control.
The sage glass and just like that dynamic glazing that you're saying based on the outdoor environment will dictate how much light is let into the building. Is that right?
Dynamic glazing is a technology that glazing tint automatically and change its visual and thermal properties in response to outdoor environment. And we can see the real benefit when we think about outdoor environment. The environment we live in is dynamic. If we think about lighting condition, by changing solar angle and sky condition, there's a constant change in how much solar radiation and light we receive as time passes. And if we want to think about an example of office space, for example, if we have like south-facing office space, floor-to-ceiling height windows, in a overcast sky condition, we can have a perfect lighting condition for someone seated close to the glass. They can enjoy the view. There will be some positive impact in their like productivity and experience in general. But next day at 10 a.m., they can experience significant direct glare, which cause visual and thermal discomfort at the same time. And we have some conventional shading solution. For example, this office has blind, and the person seated next to the window don't like too much light and glare. They close the blind, and 2 hours later, the glare is gone. But if we don't have an occupant that actively change the position of the blind, for the rest of the day, they may lose access to the view, which was the first reason that we had window in the office, and they also lose access to natural daylight. But when we have dynamic shading, the shading respond dynamically to outdoor environment with electrochromic glazing. There are some sensors that are installed outside the building that can measure light level, and it can also basically identify what is the sky condition. So those information is also combined with some control logic. With these control system, there's a digital twin of the building. So for example, if electrochromic is installed in south-facing, we know what are the hours through the day and year that we are going to receive direct sunlight and direct radiation. And for those hours, glare control is activated. And even if sky condition is overcast during those glare hour, that can be cleared, and the control system dynamically respond to what is necessary to optimize the daylight and basically provide the optimum comfort for occupant.
All based off of outdoor conditions, right? The external conditions.
Based on outdoor condition. And in addition to that, what is the occupant preferences? Because when we think about topics like lighting is very subjective. One person may feel like totally comfortable with high daylight level. Another person may not tolerate that. So with this smart system, we take into account what is the occupant preferences, what is the outdoor condition, and we also, like in programming the system, we take into consideration what is the space program. Like your lighting requirement is different if you have the window installed in lobby space versus in office space.
So what I'm learning, Ahoo, is ultimately occupant comfort is the main driver behind a lot of what we're doing here, specifically around light, right, in the built environment. This is such an interesting topic. We are certainly, in my opinion, at maybe the forefront of the industry here, and when it comes to light in the built environment. And I'm just really thankful that you were able to join us here on today's episode. Thank you for watching Building Science Digest. I've been your host, Christian Kennedy. Make sure to continue to watch and listen anywhere you can get your podcasts on any and all platforms.